everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ben, you're watching Time on Feet. During today's video, I'm going to be breaking down my training for the North Downs Way 50, which is my first 50 miler taking place in May this year. It's organised by Centurion Running and it goes along the first part of the North Downs Way, so from Farnham in Surrey to Knockholt Pound in Kent. I'm coming off the back of this from last year, which was my first year getting into trail running, marathons and ultras. So today I'm going to be breaking down how I'm approaching this 50 miler in May. I've got a couple of races that will be there in the training plan in the lead up to this race. So today I'll share my thoughts on my training plan, and if you've got any insights, any tips, any things you want to suggest, then do leave them in the comments below, because this is very much a work in progress and I am willing to be flexible on my plan. You know, if it's not working, I might switch it up, change it. So do let me know in the comments below if you've got any thoughts on it. So let's get into it. So I'm going to break down this video into two. In the first half, I'm going to be talking about the general principles behind the plan, and then for anyone who wants to delve into the nitty-gritty of each week, the different activities, runs I'm going to be doing, then you can have a look at that a bit later on in this video. If you want to follow my training along, then do hit the subscribe button. I'll be posting up weekly videos about my training and also the races that I'm doing in the lead up to May's 50 miler as well. The other way you can follow along is also by following me on Strava, so I'll post my Strava link below in case you want to follow along that way. So the first thing to say is that I'm not coming into this training plan, this 16-week training plan, from scratch. I've been for the last 5 or 6 weeks trying to get used to running about 30 miles in a week, so roughly 5 hours. And my body now feels comfortable with that. And then in the early stages of this training plan, I'm going to be upping the mileage, so transitioning from that. And then maxing out probably about 55, 60 miles in total some weeks. So I'm going to slowly, gradually build that up. Just get used to the volume, not do anything too intense or too crazy, and then just get used to being out there for a good number of hours, getting in the miles. I'm generally going to have 4 or 5 runs a week. That's all really I can fit in around work and other commitments. And some weeks I might see if I can do an extra run depending on how I'm feeling, depending on how it's going. But generally 4 to 5 runs a week. 2 strength and conditioning sessions, so one which focuses on core and agility, and then another one which focuses on building strength in joints like ankles, knees, back as well. So I'm trying to get a range of activities, exercises in there, the odd swim as well. So I live in Brighton near the sea, so I'm hoping to get down and swim in the sea, maybe once it gets a bit warmer actually, but you know, that'll be a feature in my plan as well, and potentially the odd bit of meditation too, just to ensure that I'm relaxing, giving my body proper time to recover, and also helping with sleep, which is going to be crucial in this. So other things, I'm mainly going to focus on getting a set number of hours in per week. So it's going to be very much a time on feet principle, unsurprisingly I suppose, but making sure that I'm getting out there, just experiencing being on my feet for a significant amount of time, so I can, you know, replicate what it'll be like in the actual event. The other thing is I'm going to try and make sure that I'm doing at least 2 runs a week where it's mimicking the terrain, so pretty hilly, and I'm lucky because I've got the South Downs nearby, so I'm going to mainly be using that for my training. But I'm also, where possible, going to head over to the North Downs because it's not too far from me. I can get the train down to Dorking and then do a couple of runs on the second section, so the final 25 miles of the North Downs Way 50, which runs roughly from Dorking to Knockholt Pound in Kent. So those are some of the key things. Anything else in here? Let's have a look. I'm mainly going to try and stick to schedule, so in terms of making sure that I follow the plan as it is, but I'm also going to try and be flexible. You know, if my body isn't taking it or I need to move some things around, then I'm more than happy to be flexible with my plan. So I don't want to be too dogmatic and stick to it rigidly no matter what, because you know that could potentially lead to injury, to things not going so well. And ultimately, one of the biggest achievements here is going to be getting to the start line in a condition where I'm ready to start the race. So that's going to be one of the most important things here. So the final thing is to think about, in terms of general principles, who I'm going to be running with. One of the things that I said in one of my videos towards the end of last year was that I'm very much someone who has in the past run a lot on their own, but so far this year I've been trying to run much more with others. So I'll be doing a lot of my runs with Carla, so my partner, who is going to be training for her first trail marathon this year, and that's something I'll be recording on the channel as well. So that's in June, the Brighton Trail Marathon. So I'll be running with her a lot as she's training. Other people as well, the Sussex Trail Runners who I met recently, I went for a run with them just around Ditchling Beacon, around the South Downs. Great group of runners, and they're going to be organising, it looks like, a monthly run, so I'm going to try and run with them as well. Some people I've met through the local vegan runners group too, and you know, just going out there trying to do runs with others, just so I get that kind of social side of things, the encouragement as well, and also the feeling like you're not doing all of these miles on your own. As much as I love going out there, getting the headspace, it's also good to run alongside others as well, many of whom are in the same boat training for similar things, but also who just enjoy trail running as well, which is great. Parkruns as well, I'll also be doing plenty of those locally, and we're lucky because we've got a good selection around Brighton with you know, flat ones along the seafront with Hove Prom, East Brighton Parkrun, which is more hilly and all trail, so I'd certainly be using some of those in my training as well. So those are really the key principles. I'm going to finish up this run, and then when I get back home we'll dive into the specifics of the training plan. So for anyone who wants to know the nitty gritty, as I said, the specifics, then you can have a look at that. So I'll see you back home in a minute. Just before I head back home, I've got to show you this just amazing golden sun just going down there. This is what trail running is about. This is it, just next to the River Ouse. I think it's pronounced the River Ouse anyway, O-U-S-E, or maybe Ousa, I'm not sure. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments. But just heading towards Lewes at the moment, so going to get the train back from there. Anyway, just wanted to show you that. Okay, so I'm back from my run, so let's have a look at the training plan. I'm not going to go through absolutely every week on it because there's 16 there and that would take quite a while, but I'll pick out the key points there, some key features of it. Along the bottom you can see a total time row there, and that basically indicates the number of hours that I'll spend running that particular week. So in the first week it's going to be 6 hours, as you can see. And I will be building up from my 5 hours I've been doing weekly over the past kind of 6 weeks or something. So I'll be easing into that and just increasing volume at that point, not really anything else. So a bit of speed in there, as you can see. So an hour easy overall, but with 30 minutes speed in that. And that will be a range of things that I do for speed. It might be interval some days, it might be fartlek training, it might be like hill repeats with a bit of speed in, but I'm going to mix it up and vary it and kind of see how I get on with it. So quite flexible overall. My strength and conditioning sessions, as you can see, they're in there every week, so 20 minutes each of them, so not too long, but focusing on important exercises that relate to core, agility, just building up strength and those key things. And then, as you can see, I'm building up the total time on feet, so 6 to 6.5 to 7 to 8 in the first 4 weeks. So really just increasing volume more than anything else. And then I have a bit of a taper in week 5 because I'm starting to move towards a couple of races. One at the end of week 6, which is a 14-mile race, which I think I'm going to run fairly easy, so maybe medium pace as I put on the plan there. So that's one of the races there in pink in week 6. And then if we go on to week 7, and this is really the main reason for the tapers in week 5 and 6, it's because in week 7 I'm going to have my longest training run as part of this training block towards the 50 miler, which is the Endurance Life Ultra, which is going to be roughly 33 miles. So that's on the 19th of March. So then after that, week 8, I'm going to have a recovery week. And as you can see in the plan, that says run when you want. So I'm really going to see how my body feels. It might mean that I need the whole week and maybe to ease back into it into week 9, or maybe I'll feel okay and to do a couple of kind of easier runs in there. Just going back to the Endurance Life Ultra event, my plan is not to run that all out, but to mainly use that as an exercise to practice my pacing, my fueling in preparation for May's 50 miler. So that's the way that I'm using the Endurance Life Ultra as part of this bigger plan towards the North Downs Way 50. And then week 9, 10, so we start to kind of ramp things up a bit more, going into 8 hours. So that's probably where I'll reach the kind of 55, 60 miles potentially in my training plan. And there's also a good number of back-to-back long runs in there as well. So not only in weeks 1 to 6 am I doing a couple of back-to-back long runs there, but also in weeks 7 to 12, I've got a few back-to-back long runs just to get my body used to running on tired legs, because that is going to be a big factor in this 50 miler, that I'll be running and feeling quite tired, quite fatigued, I imagine. So to get used to that and to fit that into my weekends, it means I can get a good bit of mileage in there. But also, I think it makes sense to have it spread out over 2 days, my running at the weekend, rather than having like one massive day where I'm going out and doing 6-7 hours. Better to kind of spread it out so that I can recover better, but also at the same time get the miles in. So that's weeks 7 to 12, and then moving on to the final few weeks, so weeks 13 to 16, beginning to taper from about the 13th week. Again, trying to keep some intensity in there, a bit of speed, as you can see, so I'll keep that in there. The speed sessions are not going to be 100%. They're not going to be all-out sprints or anything like that, but about 80%. And then through weeks 14 and 15, I'm tapering, and then ending up in week 16, fingers crossed, injury-free, just doing some very easy runs that week, and then ready for the North Downs Way 50 week commencing 16th of May. So that is the plan as it stands at the moment. Let me know if you've got any thoughts on it in the comments, if you've got any suggestions. And in the coming weeks, I will be getting stuck into this plan and I'll be seeing how it goes and letting you know how I find it on the channel. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a good week and speak to you all very soon.